He came by my office unannounced and draped himself on my door jamb. "So, what do you want to be when you grow up?" I laughed. In the first place, I'm 28 years old. I am grown up. In the second place, it was just kind of a funny thing for my boss's boss to be asking me, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I want to be what I'm being. He smiled and came in and sat down next to my desk. "Why?" "Well, because I love what I'm doing. And besides that, I haven't been doing it that long. I figure I got to do it a long time before I get really good at it." "Well, what if there were a way to get good at it faster and have a positive impact on a lot of people in the process?" Well, I'm intrigued, but I got no idea where he's going with this. "Terrie, you need to apply to be the supervisor of your team. When your supervisor left a couple of months ago and I asked you to run the team, I asked you to do that so that I wouldn't have any extra work. But you're doing a lot more than just filling in. You're moving the team forward. You have leadership potential. You need to be a supervisor." "I don't want to be a supervisor. I like what I'm doing. I just want to get good at this." "Trust me, you will get better at it faster if you supervise other people." Well, I resisted because I didn't really want to be a supervisor. I never saw myself as a leader. That wasn't kind of the picture I had for myself. So he and I had to have a few more conversations about it before I applied for the job and got put in that role. I left there 15 years later as the assistant director of the organization. Without Mike's guidance that day, I may have been an individual contributor indefinitely. And on the one hand, that would have been perfectly fine. But on the other hand, it would have been a waste of my potential. Although I'm not sure what he intended, Mike had made a huge impact on my life that day. I know from my own experience, leaders change lives. How do we do that? How do leaders change lives? Well, first of all, we change the lives of the people who report to us when we take really seriously the mandate we have to develop others. We can look hard for people's talents and strengths, not just at how they do their assigned tasks, but on what it is they seem to love to do, what it is that they do naturally well. And then we can create every opportunity to give them time to do those things, to develop their talents into strengths, and to make their lives full of hours where they are doing what they were born to do. I'm not the only person who didn't have a sense of what it is I'm naturally good at. Lots of the people who report to you are in that same boat. In fact, frankly, some of you are in that boat. You're not as aware as you could be about what it is you do naturally well. Leaders can impact the people who report to them mightily when they help them discover and use their talents and strengths. Secondly, we can change the lives of people when we are willing to give them feedback that takes courage. I mean, let's be honest. The people who plateau in their careers do not plateau because they lack technical skills. They get passed over for promotion because they are impossible to work with. Or they don't listen to anybody. Or they think they are the only person who is right. And when they don't get that promotion, they are surprised because the leaders who have interacted with them have not had the courage to give them the feedback they needed. Most of us go through our work lives and our personal lives with blind spots that we would just as soon not have if we knew they were there. Telling you things that you need to hear that take courage communicates to you, I'm invested in you. I believe in you. I think you can do something with this feedback. That's why I'm telling you. Leaders change lives when they have the courage to tell people the truth. Thirdly, leaders change lives when they embody the humility and authenticity that makes for great leadership. Great leaders share credit. They don't have to be the smartest person in the room. They're not threatened when other people do their jobs extraordinarily well. They're willing to own their mistakes, and they actively seek critical feedback about their performance because they know that they too need to develop. And when leaders behave consistently in those ways, they impact the people who report to them in very positive ways. In fact, so much so that many of the people who report to them will do everything they can to emulate those same behaviors. And whenever we help anyone share credit, work collaboratively and mutually with others, or be willing to eagerly own their contribution when mistakes are made, we're not only helping them grow professionally, we're helping them be better people. I am who I am, not only professionally, but also personally, because of the people I worked for. When leaders help others develop their talents, when they have the courage to tell people the truth that needs to be said, and when they walk through their organizations with the humility and authenticity that makes all of us better people, those leaders change lives. Isn't that the leader that you want to be? Thank you.